Laura wasn't sure if bringing in all these radishes was a good thing, but all of Zhao Hei's radishes were sold out. As soon as people heard of these radishes, they rushed to the store and news of their effect became widespread. With the demand rising and all the customers crowding the counter, Laura became worried about accidents happening. Laura ordered the sales clerk to announce that the special magic radishes are currently sold out and they will have to wait for the restock of their inventory. After giving the order, Laura immediately went towards Kun's study to report this matter. After listening, Kun turned towards Laura. "Young miss, I think we should meet with Mr. Zhao Hai right away. We should ask how much of these magic radishes he can provide each month, and if he could support this kind of demand, we need to increase our scale of cooperation with him right away. What do you think?" Laura nodded. "Good, we will go to Stony Mountain early tomorrow to see Mr. Zhao Hai." "Grandfather Kun, could these magic radishes really have such an effect? How could so many children suddenly be able to sense the magic element after eating some magic radish?" Kun forced a smile at Laura. "My little Laura, not everyone can eat magic vegetables from childhood to adulthood like you. The common people cannot eat several magic vegetables all year round. The possibility of magic talent could be very high among them, but because they cannot eat magic vegetables to help sense magic in the first place, further study of magic and cultivation of battle ki becomes greatly stunted compared with children of noble birth. These magic radishes from Mr. Zhao Hai, the magic concentration is very high. People who have regularly eaten magic vegetables may not feel as great of an effect, but those who have not had much magic vegetables in the past will feel these effects intensely. It's like a person who does not take supplements suddenly feeling the boost from a high-quality pill. Although, the ones who take supplements regularly would just feel like as taking ordinary medicine." Laura nodded. This was indeed the case. When she ate Zhao Hei's magic radish, Laura just felt that the magic radish was delicious. Although she noticed the magic element within was stronger than ordinary magic radish, she only compared it with other high-grade magic vegetables. The magic element in this type of magic radish didn't seem that special to her. However, she had forgotten, not everyone in this world is able to grow up eating magic vegetables like her. After all, some commoners would not eat a single magic vegetable their entire lives. Kun looked at Laura then said, "We must join hands with Mr. Zhao Hai and his organization as soon as possible. There is also a chance that Mr. Zhao Hai will have some great potential in the future." Laura gave Kun a puzzled look. "Grandfather Kun, what do you mean by that?" Kun looked at Laura and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Laura was too young. Although intelligent, she didn't think through matters long term. He explained, "Although I have only met Zhao Hai once, I noticed some things. The extent of Zhao Hei's territory is yet unknown, but the fertility of the land is very high and can produce high-quality magic vegetables. It is possible Zhao Hai offended someone, therefore he is unable to reveal his identity. He is avoiding dealing directly with large businesses, therefore he came to us. Because of his connection with you, he has more trust in us as compared with the larger business." Laura smiled and nodded. "Yes, I also think if Zhao Hai had not offended this someone he would not have a reason to work with us." Kun nodded. Zhao Hai can be said as to be a very intelligent person. He knew that working with us and guaranteeing the quality of the cargo would double as advertisement. Therefore he gave us the best magic radishes. But little Laura, you must also pay attention to this point. He supplied us with all these high-quality magic radishes but has not worked with anyone else. If he has not worked with others so far, that means these vegetables were not sold and only eaten." Laura smiled and remained still as she seemed to understand a little. Kun looked at Laura's reaction and showed a faint smile. If the person eats these magic vegetables himself, then his body will be different compared with the average person. Although Zhao Hei's subordinate were not many, if he has enough extra magic radishes, his subordinates can eat these magic vegetables. Currently on this continent, do you think there are private soldiers who can eat magic vegetables like this? No, there aren't any. Even among the big aristocrats, only the sharpest of their private soldiers can eat magic vegetables. If Zhao Hei's soldiers have such treatment, what does his future hold? Although Kun's analysis wasn't entirely accurate, as it was impossible to know of the existence of space, he was actually spot on with what Zhao Hai was planning on doing. Zhao Hai wants to let all his subordinates eat the vegetables and meat that his space will produce and improve their physique. Laura had a shining look in her eyes. Grandfather Kun, you mean, Mr. Zhao Hai will become more and more formidable? If it really is as such, this may become an advantage for us. Kun said with a smile, we are merchants. Merchants are not aristocrats and cannot butt into their affairs, but it doesn't mean we merchants can't invest in these aristocrats. When presented with an aristocrat worth investing, we must invest in him. The day when he rises, we also will rise with him. This is the highest boundary of the merchant. Laura nodded. Grandfather Kun thinks that Mr. Zhao Hai is such a person who is worth investing in? Should we give Mr. Zhao Hai benefits and preferential treatment? Perhaps give him subsidization? Kun shook the head. Do not do such things. Although we have sole contact with Mr. Zhao Hai, he is a self-respecting and very strong person. In other words, he is likely very arrogant. He will not like us providing subsidization as if we are giving him handouts. If we do such a thing, it would only make him feel repulsive towards us. Right now, we must work with him like a normal partner. This would be the most helpful. But if he were to request assistance, let us then assist in his matters. We must manage ourselves attractively. For instance, looking for meat processing factories. I think this matter should be put on our agenda. Laura nodded. Tomorrow, at Stony Mountain, we'll ask Mr. Zhao Hai about his blue-eye rabbit output. Then we will make contact with the meat processing factory. Kun nodded. Yes, we should first understand Mr. Zhao Hai blue-eye rabbit output, then match this up with the proper processing factory. This will also be an advantage to Mr. Zhao Hai. Laura nodded and turned to look at the sky through the window as she muttered, I hope this is an opportunity. I do not care about the Marquis family and that imperial throne. In the future I will not turn into a gift to be packed and traded by fellows in my family. Laura turned 18 years old this year. Although it is not as strongly practiced within the Marquis family, on the continent all respected families use marriage to consolidate influence and power. This has been in practice for several thousand years, and is still in use. Marriage. A technique totally used and exploited. Even some respected families use it. Under the guise of benefits, one is married off, a treatment equal to garbage. Even with this, one has to recognize, when two families are in cooperation, marriage truly can play a role making two relations harmonious. Laura is Marquis family's chip. Although her business talent is very high, her position within the family is too weak. Now Laura, being 18 years old, believes the Marquis family will soon marry her off. This is a repulsive matter to her. Laura wants her family to recognize her as a person and not a chip to be used in marriage, but she understands that only by becoming stronger can she achieve this. With formidable power, the people from the family would not dare to marry her off. Only then can she control her own fate. Kun understood Laura's thoughts. Laura wanted to make great achievements in business, but did not have the means or support. There were no good suppliers from the Marquis family, no good partners, no strong ally. These factors stiffened her progress. Even though Laura is intelligent, it was impossible for her to expand alone. But the appearance of Xiao Hai was an opportunity to change things. An opportunity that could become Laura's strength. So long as they seized this opportunity, the Marquis family would have difficulty controlling them in the future. Although it was said that Laura's father Klein was lacking, he actually loves Laura. To Klein, Laura turning 18 did not make her into a marriage ship. He did not agree with the family because he believes Laura's happiness is something to be chosen by her. Running a small place within the Purcell Duchy, Klein could not receive any kind of help or support from the Marquis family. Naturally, he did not have the authority to determine Laura's destiny. They need strength. A formidable strength. Otherwise, sooner or later the family will come for Laura. To clan heads from respected families, compared to the benefit of the family, an individual's happiness is as good as a fart.